this is a kind of a special Sunday. Yeah. Why? Because coming up on Tuesday is Cinco de Mayo. Now, how many of you think that Cinco de Mayo is Mexican Independence Day? No? Some of you don't know? Well, if you think it is, it's not. Mexican Independence Day is in September, on September 16th, actually. And they got their independence in 1810. September 16th, 1810. But over the course of the next century or so, there were a lot of squabbles with the Spanish, with the French, with the Austrians. All kinds of different things went on down there. But the important thing about Cinco de Mayo is that in 1862, the French were going to storm Mexico City, and they landed at Veracruz. But when they were going through the little city of Puebla, Puebla happened to stop them. How they were able to do that, I don't know. But that little city stopped the French army from moving forward and capturing Mexico City again. Later on, unfortunately, in the second battle, Puebla lost and the French went on to Mexico City. But that first battle, they won, and that was on the 5th of May in 1862. And regardless of what happened after that, in 1863, the first Cinco de Mayo was celebrated not in Mexico, but in Southern California. California had been a state since 1849, and originally that had been part of Mexico, so there were a lot of Mexican people living in California, and they took up the banner and celebrated Cinco de Mayo to honor Puebla for having won that first battle with the French. So that's what Cinco de Mayo is actually about. However, Mexico doesn't celebrate it nearly as much as you might think. Yeah, there are a few things that go on in Puebla, and they have a little march and a parade and stuff like that. But none of the big banks or businesses or government offices or anything like that close. Cinco de Mayo is actually celebrated more in the United States than it is in Mexico. And one of the reasons now is because of the Mexican-American heritage in this country, the culture. You know, it's played a very, very significant role in the growth of the United States. In fact, you know, right now, as we go through this pandemic, a lot of people have not been able to work in the fields, and most of the people working in the fields to get you your vegetables and your fruits and all of that sort of thing are not able to work right now. And it's a wonder that we're getting anything into the stores. That's how important the Mexican workers are. Now, Mexican-American people don't just pick fruit, don't just harvest vegetables or anything like that. They play a significant role, and they're a minority that is growing larger all the time. But they're in the universities, and they're scientists, and they're doctors, and they're lawyers, and hairdressers, and everything you can possibly imagine. Mexican-American people are partaking in our country in great and grand and glorious ways. So that's really what the celebration of Cinco de Mayo was all about. It's the Mexican-American culture. And on that day, all of us become Mexican for a day, do we not? And we eat tacos, and we drink margaritas, and we take in all the guacamole we can find, and we have a wonderful time. So that's the history of Cinco de Mayo. And I'm going to put a little attachment with this video so that you can read it over for yourself. And the next time anybody asks you, well, what is Cinco de Mayo all about? You'll know. You'll have a little copy for your own files. All right? Okay. Here's the thing, though, about the Mexican-American culture. As I said, they have played an amazing, almost overwhelming role in the development of this country. So, what I would like you to do during the course of this pandemic, since we can't all get out and party and go to the Mexican restaurants and all that sort of thing, although I'm sure some people will, a lot of people don't like the idea of staying quarantined, especially when we have these holidays, right? But no matter what, I want you to remember that as you think of Cinco de Mayo as a party day, also remember about the wonderful, wonderful contributions that Mexican-American people have made and given to this country of ours. Okay? One of the really important factors in that 1862 battle between the French and the people of the city of Puebla is at the same time the American Civil War was going on. And the French wanted to get a foothold in the New World, and they also happened to be allies, or at least friendly, to the Confederacy. Now, had the French won that first battle, and had they given supplies and ammunition and everything to the Confederacy, this whole American slavery thing could have gone a lot differently. You know, the Confederacy wanted to separate into its own nation, and it was built on slavery. So if they had been able to secede successfully, it would have been a long time before global pressure finally mounted enough for the Confederacy to end slavery on its own. We may have gone well into the early 20th century before that happened. So we need to thank the people of Puebla for that. You know, they probably never even thought about that at the time, but it played a significant role in helping the Union to end slavery in the United States. Okay?